Yo, what's going on? It's your Cousin Polly Rob, and welcome to another episode of the Polly Rob Podcast. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and become a member of my YouTube channel so you can get all the updates of all the content that I got going. You know what I'm saying? Before I get into the topic of the day, I have to say this. For all of the late night creatives that really be hungry and, it be no food to get out in the world, I know how it get. But let me just give y'all a small little tip. For something that's, pretty affordable, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I didn't like it at first. I never liked it. I never enjoyed it. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's by itself is plain. It ain't got no flavor. It's whatever. By itself, it's whatever. But what I did a couple of days ago, I'm not gonna lie. I low key went to Raising Cane's. I got like I forgot what it's called. It started with a C. The carnival meal or something like that. Whatever. So I got that combo, which is like 4 or 5 chicken strips, the fries. I didn't get no coleslaw because I don't like coleslaw, and I get extra bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even supposed to be eating bread or carbs right now, but a couple of days ago I got that in. I'm not gonna lie to you. But when I got it, I'm like, I know this is finna be plain. This extra cane sauce ain't gonna do nothing. So what I did was I went home, got a little 2-quart saucepan, put some butter in there, put some minced garlic, put some Parmesan cheese that I had in the refrigerator, put a little salt and pepper, paprika, whisk it around, you feel me? Then I got a little bacon sheet, turn the oven on to like 350. Y'all know where I'm going with this. I put the chicken strips, I put the fries in a little pan, put that garlic butter, or I had some lemon too. I squeezed like a half a lemon because I only had like a half a lemon. Squeeze that into the butter, pour the butter all over that, baked it for about like 15 minutes, took it out. Heaven. If you don't want to go through the whole method of making the chicken strips, making the fries, you could just go buy it from Raising Cane's and put your own flavor on it. You can have lemon, garlic, butter, chicken strips. You can have Cajun fries. You know what I'm saying? You can even put cheese and garlic on the bread. If you wanted to, you can go up. That's all I'm saying. Try it. I think you'll enjoy it if you want to do that little bit of extra work. Now, Grammys are not far away. And usually around Grammy time, when it's time to vote for who's the best, because as of now, like we at least got some of the albums, some of the nominations of who we know for sure is going to be on that list, right? Along with that, this is around the time where these conversations start happening. These conversations of who are the best artists, who put the most work in, who has the best content, who's just the dopest. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what's being said about a particular music label and a particular artist, couple of artists, and what's been going around in terms of people feeling fatigued of the success of this music label and artists. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this, and I want to be clear, I want to be 100% clear, that although the majors have had their foot on the necks of the game for years, every 10 years or so, we get a particular label or a music group or a group of creatives that come in and show us something different, something that we can enjoy, something that we feel like represents our culture at the time. Because, the culture change. Hip hop changes. The style, the genre, the energy, the concepts, the market, the promotion, the love for it, it all changes. It changes often. 3 to 4 years is something different, a new flavor, a new artist, a new superstar, a new group, a new way to do things. It changes. But what doesn't change is that we're always constantly being refreshed by someone or a group of people who does something refreshing and has their pulse on the game for a while. And if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, sorry, it's something in my eye. Sorry about that. I'm in real time. I'm not even going to edit that out. I'm keeping it in real time. If y'all don't know who I'm talking about TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, and of course, we're talking about Kendrick Lamar. We'll get into some Doechii stuff as well, because I got some things to say about Doechii and what y'all been saying about her too. Let's get into this whole what they've been saying about TDE. Now, couple of blogs, couple of podcasts, including the Joe Budden podcast, excuse me, including the Joe Budden podcast, made references in the context of statements like, I'm tired of them winning. Kendrick Lamar should fall back because he's been winning so much. I want to see somebody else win. Although I'm not going to say I disagree or agree with the statements. But what I will say is, when greatness is upon us, we got to let that rock all the way through. We got to let that rock all the way through. And reason being, well, at least in my opinion, is because Kendrick Lamar is on a run right now that we will probably never see again. There's just certain mega stars that we'll never see a run like that again. So we got to cherish it as it stands. Got a Grammy for Not Like Us, 5 of them. Got BET Awards, a bunch of them. I believe he won an Emmy for Best Performance. Slew of platinum plaques. Video of the Year, Super Bowl performance, an album that is being nominated now for the upcoming, 2026 Grammys, and a tour that just was the highest selling tour from a single solo artist. I forgot what the numbers was, but exciting year from a artist and a music group, because even though his imprint is PG Lang, it is still somewhat a subsidiary of Top Dog Entertainment, TDE. And they've been on a very impressive run. Not to mention SZA going multi-platinum from her second album. Not to mention Doechii, getting a Grammy and having a successful album, being one of the best new artists of the year. And all of this comes from proper artist development. That's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about artist development. Now, This is the thing. Back in the days when, you know, getting signed to a major label was at its highest, there was a thing that if you were hot as a talent, let's just start there. If you were hot or great as a talent, which means you had skills, they would take a chance on you because in that time frame, which is like late 80s, early 90s, even though that's a little bit, before my era of me experiencing a lot of music, I still I'm a hip hop head, so I do my research. So in that time, it's like, yo, if your talent is good, you have a chance of getting a record deal, which a record deal was the thing. A record deal was like winning a championship. Not even going platinum yet, even though they did go gold and platinum. But just getting a record deal, you felt like your world was moving in the right direction, 100%. So with that, a lot of times all you had to do, and I'm not saying it's easy by saying all you had to do. I'm saying the task was to be seen at your best, to be seen rapping, performing, battling, you know, going in places, burning down the stage, to be seen at your highest of talent. They would have talent shows where they're literally watching people to see who's dope. And they would sign people, sign artists from talent shows. On top of that, if you were a part of the mixtape era and your mixtapes was going crazy, they would give you a chance in signing you because they see not only is your music being popular, but at the same time, you're also making money, which is the important part for the major labels. Can we make money off your music? Now, if you're selling wild mixtapes, if you're selling 1,000 mixtapes a week, you're proving to the record labels that your artistry is lucrative, which they'll want to give you a bigger bag. They want to sign you to a bigger contract, right? So out of all those different scenarios and a lot more, there's so many ways. Mary J. Blige got signed from being at a record store just singing the songs that, listening to whatever album she was listening to and just singing the song. She got signed from that, Master P got his deal for selling tapes out the trunk, just like E40 and Too Short. So many different scenarios. What I'm saying is being signed was a big thing. And then when you got signed, for every label, there was a thing called artist development. Now, even then, when you mentioned artist development, because let's be clear, the labels used to do this one particular thing, which is they would sign you because they like you, give you some money, but they will put you through artist development, which is what your music will officially sound like. It's like, it may not be what you've been doing for the past couple of years to get signed. They will have to break down what your music is about, find out the key points that are popular, rework some things on a professional level. If you didn't have professional beats off the music you had, get with the right producers, get with the right writers, get with the right image team. It's not just the music, it's your image. How do we package MC such and such to be appealing to start making money? Because that's their objective. Artist development is not just polishing the music. It's polishing the image. It's polishing the story of what is your life like? How did this person from Brooklyn or LA or Atlanta or Louisiana or Memphis, how did this person that's an artist get from where they used to be in their hometown to being signed by one of the major labels of the world? What does that story look like? What style of music are you presenting? What story are you telling in your music? Not only is the artist development necessary to build the artist before you display them to the world, it's also important for the team or the marketing department or the promotional department or the A&Rs. It's important for them to get as much information from you and learn as much as they can about you to be able to use that to promote you at the best way. To promote your music, to promote your image, to promote your likeness, to promote your album, to market your album, all of the above. The artist development wasn't just for the artist. And I don't know why people have this thing about not wanting to be developed. Artist development was actually like if artist development was in a sports context, right? Because they have athlete development. It's been happening since sports in the beginning of the time of sports. Let's say basketball, for instance. Basketball has junior high basketball leagues, high school league, college, D1, community college, G League, then NBA. The NBA is the actual cream of the crop. Every other league, every other school league, college league, G League is all under tiers, which not only are they playing games, yes, they're playing in real time, but they're being developed. They're being developed. Those seasons in high school, those seasons in college, those G League seasons, those tournaments that they take, the overseas, these are all development, athlete development. So when you go to the NBA, you know what to do. You're at your highest on a professional level when you go to the NBA. It's the same thing for music where it used to be. You need to be developed before we put this money into you and we bring you to the light of the people. It's like with any other, and not, it's like not to call artists this term, but I have to be real. It's like any other product. Before you make Miss Ruthalina's cookies, you got to develop the recipe, develop the packaging, develop the taste, develop the marketing game plan, develop the promotion, and then you give it to the world. You can't just jump out with a bunch of cookies that came from your oven and expect for you to have a multi-million-dollar company. It don't work like that. There are stages to it. So I'm saying, as an artist, you must be developed no matter how much you think you nice, no matter how much you think you got dope music and you better than the top person at the highest of their game. I don't care what you're talking about. If somebody is giving you money for your artistry without knowing how much they can sell, you need to be in development, because we need to scale that. We got to scale what you actually could be making and what you will make. We got to scale what type of music you are comfortable with doing and what music you can do and what music you can do that can sell. It's a real thing. Why is that relevant to TDE? Because TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, is very, very, very good at developing their artists. They're the best in the game at developing artists. Let me be 100% clear. Top Dog Entertainment is the best in the game at development, at artist development. They're the best in the game. No doubt about it. Nobody's better. Give it a couple more years, they might be the best ever at developing artists, but we'll get to that later. Kendrick Lamar, he was developed. Hours of being in the studio, having conversations about what his style would be. You see how it was when he came out. You think him not wearing chains and him, Dot not approaching it, making party music, you think that was just something that he just said, okay, this is what I want to do and that's it? No, it's a conversation. It's hours of work of developing the sound that he wanted to bring out to the world. It's development. J-Rock had development too. His sound, the way he approached music. Schoolboy Q, development. You see how they all mesh together, but they also have their own distinctive style and sound. Ab-Soul sounds different from Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q sounds different from J-Rock. J-Rock sounds different from Kendrick. Kendrick sounds different from Doechii. Doechii sounds different from SZA. SZA sounds different from Isaiah Rashad. Isaiah Rashad sounds different than what's his name? The newest cat that just dropped. What's his name? He fired. Ray Vaughn. Ray Vaughn. Shout out to Ray Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? They all have different approaches. They might have one or two things that's similar, and that's why they mesh good on records. But for the most part, they're all different. What Schoolboy talks about is different than what Ab-Soul talks about. They all have their different approaches. Their videos are different in context. It may be shot the same, good creative angles because that's the TDE style, but they still have something unique about everything that they do. And that's what makes the whole music group great. They're being developed. If you ever heard of TDE Punch, TDE Musa, these are guys, I don't know these guys personally. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Only people I really know is J-Rock and Dot. You know what I'm saying? Those are my guys from way back. Big Y introduced me to them, and those are my guys. You know what I'm saying? We all been through a lot. So shout out to Big Y for introducing me to Dot. And I'm talking about, I know Dot since K Dot, not Kendrick Lamar, since K Dot. You know what I mean? I know J-Rock, you know what I'm saying, since J-Rock. You know what I mean? Like, it's real. But anyway, the important thing to remember is the development. Punch, Musa, Keem, these guys are developing these artists. They're taking the time. There was one particular statement that somebody said about another artist. It wasn't on TDE, but this one artist was upset because they didn't drop no music in 2 to 3 years because the labels was trying to develop him, but he was mad. He was like, nah, I want to drop my shit now. And then he got a chance to drop his music and it didn't do nothing. And still to this day, he's still trying to figure it out. I won't say his name, but what I'm saying is, when you need to be developed, it's more than just whether you got good music or not. We need to scale the probability of you being a star. That's a real thing. And when you have A&Rs and executives and producers and engineers by your side that's helping you craft your greatness, it makes it that much more easier to present you to the world and for the world to feed into you. So when I'm hearing these conversations about people are tired of Kendrick Lamar winning awards, they tired of hearing, SZA, they're tired of this and that from TDE. I don't understand how y'all feel. I don't get it. Because these are people who are independent in the context of the label does what they want. They may be signed to Interscope and everything under a distribution or however the business goes, but they operate in their independent fashion in terms of artist development, approach, style, releases. They operate like an independent. So whatever they want to do with their artists, they're going to do it. No label is going to tell them, nah, you should approach Schoolboy this way, or you should do Kendrick in this style. No, they don't. It's not happening that way. They are literally doing it the way that they see fit, and the labels are satisfied enough with them in terms of sales, in terms of stardom, in terms of, accolades. They're comfortable enough with TDE to let them do what the hell they want to do because they've been great at it. They've been great at it. That's what you get when you do proper artist development, and artist after artist after artist is successful in their own right. The labels write you a blank check and say, do what you want. Do what you want. Say what you want to say, but those artists are developed. SZA is developed. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to front. I heard 1,000 different singers that sound like SZA. But what separates SZA from all of those other artists that got the same type of voice and same approach? It's the context of how SZA makes her music. It's how she uses her visuals to drive the music. It's the certain words that she uses when she's making music. It's the way she approaches things to where, have y'all ever noticed? I don't think y'all get this. I'm gonna give y'all one jewel. Have y'all ever noticed that when SZA makes songs, every couple of lines, every couple of like lyrics or lines, she sound like a nigga? I'm not talking about voice wise. I'm talking about, listen to me clear. Listen to me clear. When you're listening to SZA's music, every now and then she says a line that sounds like a nigga might say it, a man might say it. She's not just appealing to the women. She's appealing to the men too. The men want to play her records just as bad. That's what makes SZA dope. That's the one, I'm only giving you one jewel. That's the one jewel that a lot of these other singers don't do. A lot of these other singers, they love how SZA sings. They love her runs, her flavor, her approach to the cadence, but they missing one or two or three things. They may be making music that sound like they just bashing men. But SZA, she expresses her frustrations with men that she deals with. But then she goes off in a tangent in the context of like, nah, I be doing some of the shit that men be doing too. You can hear SZA talking shit, but also taking accountability at the same time. That's why women love her music, and that's why men love her music. That's just one little small thing. There's so many other things that SZA does that a lot of other artists that may even have a better voice than her does not do. That comes with artist development, mastering what you can do in your world, in your context, so people can love it. We're not even going to talk about Kendrick Lamar and the things that he does that no artists do. I'm not even finna get into that because that's going to be a whole 3 hours. You know what I mean? I ain't even finna talk about that. For real. They have so many artists that's so diverse. So at the end of the day, let them win their awards. I know the Clips did their thing this year. You know, I know Chance the Rapper got a fire album this year. But hey, man, if it's TDE, it's TDE. Let him rock. Let Kendrick get all the awards he need to get. Before the run is over, he got to start a new run because you know he finna do it. You know he finna start a new run. You know that. All I'm saying is the task was to build these artists and develop these artists to be great. And this is the end result from having proper artist development. It's a real thing. Now, if the Clips win the Grammy for, album of the year, hip hop album of the year, I'm with that. I'm with that. It's cool. But if Kendrick win it for G and X, who gonna be mad? Why you gonna be mad? Why you gonna be mad? At the end of the day, we've been experiencing great hip hop, and I think, in my true opinion, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. In my true opinion, if these labels, especially these independent boutique labels, if they take a page out of TDE's book and start developing artists, we'll start seeing more superstars. We'll start seeing more winners in the rap game, in the R&B game, in the trap soul game. We need our artists to be developed. I just sent a DM. One of my good friends DM'd me and was like, "Yo, check out one of my homegirls' music. She's trying to do her thing, but she needs some motivation or whatnot." I'm not gonna tell you what I said when I listened to the music, but one thing I will say is she definitely need to be developed, and I let them know that. And that's what kind of prompted me to having this conversation, because if anybody does their history on some of the greatest in the world, it don't matter what genre, they've been developed. It's probably about 0.0001% of the hip hop or music culture or any genre that somebody has not been developed and lucked up and got a hit record and had a successful career. It just doesn't happen that way. I'm sorry. It just does not happen that way. You need to be developed. Simple and plain. Simple and plain. So before anybody starts saying, hey, we need other people to win, just remember this. The work that you put in a lot of times results in the success that you receive. So let my guys at TDE get all the success that they have warranted, that they work for, that they did their thing for. Put that on Twitter, that TDE deserves every single certification, award, plaque, royalties, money, Emmy, SP, EGOT, it don't matter. They deserve all of it because they work hard for it. All right? Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about the Grammys, who you think is going to win. Let me know if you think TDE deserves what they've been getting, or if everybody is just meat riding. Because a lot of y'all be like, everybody just meat riding TDE and Kendrick, and that's why they're getting everything. So let me know what y'all think. I'm ready to talk in the comments. Y'all been rocking with me. Right now, I have 14. What I got? I got 1,460 subscribers right now, and I'm trying to get to that big 1,500. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I know I've been slipping on my content, and I'm sorry. I've been on these film sets. I've been doing these film scores. I've been working on a bunch of productions. We got some new music dropping on Monday. You know what I'm saying? We got a brand new song dropping on Monday called Local Astronauts Act 1. So make sure you go check that out. We got our merch. You know what I'm saying? If y'all see our merch, I got my Local Astronauts dad hat on. You know what I'm saying? We got the vintage dad hats that just dropped. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all check that out for real. And we got a lot of things going, man. So make sure y'all become a member, like and subscribe. Man, I'm finna do something special for my members. I actually got a new video for all my members that I'm finna drop. And it's a real one. I'm telling you, it's a real one. So, man, make sure y'all keep checking me out. I appreciate y'all, man. Let's get to that 1,500 subscribers. And y'all already know what it is. Peace, love, and work low.